Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you how you could potentially create 5 new fresh pins, the ones that Pinterest really loves nowadays. 5 new fresh pins from one single piece of content. So here I am in my design program. I use InDesign, but this can be replicated in Canva or any other design software that you might be using. So this was a pin that I just created for one of my clients, and it was so bright and fun and colorful that I thought this would be a really good example to show you guys how I would create 5 new pins using just this one single pin as a starting point. So I'm going to just copy all of this. I'm going to paste it into a new page here. And so Pinterest says that a fresh pin is any new image. So you can't just like move this image a little bit to the left or right and think that that's going to qualify as a new image. That's not going to work. What you can do is you can flip images like this. So in this example, I can just pop all these to the right-hand side instead of the left-hand side. And this would constitute as a new pin image because these two images are pretty different, even if it has the same headline here. But I might go and switch things around a bit just to play around with the design and maybe change it up a little bit more. You could even let's do top 10 so I can fill that space a little bit more. So yeah, flipping an image on your canvas is one way to create a brand new pin. And then even if you wanted to, you could change like the colors here to something else, something different, so it looks a little bit different for your viewers. Okay, so now we have 2 pins. Moving on, let's make a 3rd pin. I'm going to copy all of this, and I've already put my image down here. So again, we are using the image in a different orientation. I haven't just, copied the image and think I'm going to put the text on a different area and think that that's going to work. So I want to make this image look completely different than the original. So let's drop our text on there. We can center the text. We can make things a little bit bigger. We can put text on one line. Projects. You're going to have to resize some things sometimes, move some text around, maybe tweak the headlines just a little bit. And this will result in fresh pins, guys, the ones that Pinterest loves. Okay, craft projects to brighten up your home. Okay. Let's put this down here. All of this is now a little big, so I'm going to put this all together and then group it. Okay, so now we're on pin number 3. Let's move on to create a 4th pin. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm going to quick flip this and drop this down. So now I have 4 pins. And this works really good for this specific image because it's, there's like this natural copy space for it. So I'm able to rotate the image in such a way that makes it a perfect canvas every time to put the text on there. So on your images, you can do things like zoom in or zoom out or focus on just a little part of the image. Another thing that you could do is I'll do it on this one. You could create like a color overlay and drop the opacity down just a little bit. You could do something like that. You could, let's see, you could put like blocks of color behind your text, like so. That's harsh on the eye, so I would change this to white. You can change the headline, like the order top 10 craft projects. How about that kids love? it doesn't take, you know, a ton of thought and energy to create new headlines and new graphics, guys. Just work with what you have, and you'll be surprised, oops, at how many new pins you can make by just like rotating things and flipping them and maybe reorganizing the way the text is on the pin, and so on. Sorry, sometimes I get like sucked into the design. So make sure always too that like what I'm doing right now is like kind of screwing around with the spacing. So that was a lot of space down here. So I would make this image a little bit bigger, kind of to fill that top space of the pin. Okay. And then, oh, and lastly, I have enlarged this image, and then I drop the opacity down to about 50%. You can do this in Canva too. And then let's just grab this. I'm going to paste it in here, and I'm going to center them all together. And then kind of tweak things around a bit. It's not very readable, is it? So you could do something like, let's see, bear with me. I'm going to put maybe like a white bar behind this here so you can read that better. Yeah. You always want to make sure that everything is really, really readable on your pins. You can drop that down a little bit. And you can't see the pencil. So I'm going to drop this down a little bit more, and I'm just going to, this green just is not the best color for readability. All right, yeah, so how long have I been recording this? 7 minutes. I was able to create, well, that didn't count the time to make this, but this took me about, maybe 10 minutes to create. So in less than 20 minutes, I've created 5 new pins for one piece of content. And you can do the same. Just always remember that you want to make your pins different enough. And then that's more than just like moving the image just to the left a little bit or to the right a little bit. You want to flip the image, you want to zoom in, you want to rotate it. You can find a whole new image if you need to. Like in this example, I just use the same exact image 5 different times. Also with the text, just use the same headline or use maybe 2 different headlines, or even if you wanted to get really creative, use 5 different headlines. And then, you know, arrange them differently on your pin. So you just want to make sure that you're creating fresh pins that don't look like something that you've already created for that same piece of content, and Pinterest will favor you because that's what they're wanting to see in the feed. They want pinners like you to be publishing fresh stuff to awesome content. So I hope this video was super helpful, and I can't wait to see what you create.